Yeah, I'm sharing the screen now. Hare Krishna. उपज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद सद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Is my screen visible, Mataji? And voice and video, everything is
Yes,
okay?
Prabhuji. Everything is clear, Prabhuji.
But only the on the screen, the this thing, the black portion is coming. I don't know how to. Right? The full screen is not visible, right?
Screen is visible, Prabhuji.
Okay. So why this is not going off from my screen? Ah, it is gone. So yesterday, in fact, I was, at the end of the class, Hare Krishna, I was asking that, okay, can someone read this list? Because what we covered was that all these qualities are required. The qualities to have the knowledge, because the jnanam, gyayam, both object of knowledge and the knowledge, for getting that, the qualities which are required are here. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantir, arjavam, acharya upasanam. And it is on in the English also it is there. Amanityam is humility, adambhitvam is pridelessness, then ahimsa is non-violence. The full list is there. And so I just requested that if someone can read this list so that we can understand. Is it visible clearly? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So anyone can just volunteer to read it so that we understand what it is. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. This is humility.
Right. Humility. So that is amanitvam. Then pridelessness. Adambhitvam.
Yes.
You're right. And what is this? You're right. Read
Yeah.
on the right hand side. Understanding you are not the body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same. So basically, not so equipoised in honor, dishonor, distress, happiness. That is the amanitvam. Now, just a minute. What happened? Where is my? Okay. Yeah. So tolerance is shanti. Simplicity is arjavam. So straightforwardness that you can disclose the truth to anyone, even to the enemy. And accepting a spiritual master, most important in the journey of bhakti. Acharya upasana. This is essential. Of course, cleanliness, steadiness, stharium, determined to make progress in spiritual life. So determination would primarily mean all the not only the regulative principles continuously following without any deviation, that is part one, but the part two is also the entire process of bhakti, which is already instructed by our Guru and by Krishna. The entire process which is given by Prabhupada, follow that continuously, non-stop, without any kind of deviation. That would talk about the determination part of it, like getting up at 4:30 and uh, attend the Arati, Mangala Arati, attend Guru Vandana, attend all everything that is being done there. And at 5 o'clock, the chanting starts. So chanting 16 rounds at Bhakti Sastri level, at level two, one round. All that is, if you determine that I want to do, is there a chart? Some question has come? No, it's only Hare Krishna, Pranam. Yeah. So, in fact, if you look at our regulative principles also, so non-violence will be part of the no meat-eating, and we can connect. So we can connect the cleanliness, so self-control. If there is a let's say intoxication, then self-control will not be there. Renaissance of a sense objects, absence of false ego, that is anahankara. Then Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi, Dukkha Dashanu Darshanam. Just the knowledge that these are the four miseries that we just talked about is not sufficient. That means it is not about intellectually just knowing it, but perceiving it that these are, in fact, the problems, the perception of evil, that these are the evil. Because hardly people, all the karmis that we look at who endeavor continuously for some progress in their life, one after another, one after the they cannot see that Janma Murtu Jarabhadi is something that is going to happen. So the capacity to perceive this as an evil is also part of the quality. Detachment, asakti, no entanglement with wife, children, family, etc. Then even mindedness. That is the that part of Padmapatra Vibhambasa, even mindedness. Unalloyed devotional service, engage oneself in 9 processes of bhakti. So these are the qualities to know, and know whom? Know Krishna. And who can do this? These qualities cannot be developed by non-devotees. Neither it can be developed by the Brahmavadis or even the Mayavadis. Just not possible because it requires so many things which are to understand Krishna. We'll after some time we'll see that. So all these are also there. Detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, philosophical search, Tattva Jnana Darshanam. So what we're doing now, in fact, before Bhagavad, so Prabhupada says that when he made his first Bhagavad Gita as it is, we're talking about 70s. In that point of time, there were more than 500 versions of Gita which are available. So people have some kind of Tattva Jnana Darshanam, you know, effort to know. But only problem is the concoctions are there. The only problem is that the parampara was not there. The only problem was that it is not coming through the disciple succession. So it is not possible. In that case, it is not possible to have the right kind of knowledge. So process of knowledge, now Prabhupada says, 8 to 12, is cultivation of these qualities. All the qualities, amanitvam, adambhitvam, same in distress and happiness, all this, so many qualities that we're talking about. Cultivation of this quality is the real method of acquiring knowledge. So, this is a big question that we should ask ourselves. Gita is an instruction given by Krishna to Arjuna, and Arjuna is having all these qualities. Unless he has all these qualities, he definitely would not have understood Gita in 45 minutes. Gita was told just in 45 minutes, less than an hour, and something. Suppose you just imagine that you have talked for 1 hour somewhere, and it is so perfect. It is so perfect, word by word. Everything is so perfect that for 5,000 years, people are just translating it, interpreting it. They're discussing. Even today, everybody is discussing. It was so perfect. Can you have such a speech? You cannot, because Krishna is perfect. So therefore, we are now reading Gita. We're still there are people who are interpreting, not who are not coming through the parampara. So anything specialized, anything speculated beyond these items of knowledge is ignorance. This last point is very, very important, which Prabhupada is clarifying again and again and again. He's basically meaning the concoction. Means anything other than this could be this or this could be that. No, anything other than is not knowledge. Knowledge is about knowing what is Kshetra and what is Kshetragya. This is the knowledge. And these are the qualities to get that knowledge. Unless one acquires those qualities, then he cannot or she cannot have the knowledge. That is point number one. And point number two is that any other thing other than this is not knowledge. Now let's proceed. So this is the summary from 13 to 19. Krishna now answered the question 6, the object of knowledge. And what is object of knowledge? Jnayam. So kshetragya, jnana, jnayam, purusha and prakriti. These are the 6 questions. Now he is answering the question 6, the object of knowledge, the Gayam. So 13 to 18, the soul can know the super soul, who is the object of knowledge and who exists everywhere and pervades everything. The super soul has transcendental senses and he is the source of all our senses. He is unattached and he maintains all living entities. So we have already heard this. Sarvasachaham hridisannivishto matta swatirgyanamapohanam cha. His senses are transcendental. We'll also have another verse where it says Sarvata, Panipadam, he has his legs and eyes and everything. He has got a transcendental body, not like the material body, like five with the 5 elements, but he is not formless. He's having a form, an eternal form, a beautiful form, which is having a transcendental sense, which is having the transcendental limbs, all that is there, but that is eternal. That is to be understood. And 19, only the devotee can understand the field of activities, that is the game, the process of knowledge, and both the soul and the super soul, that is Rishikena, Sevanam. Only devotee can understand this. So this is the overall thing. So what is the object of knowledge? We can see in the picture, in the yogi, you can see Narayana in the 400 form is there as the super soul, and his soul is also there as a spark. We can see the spark here. The spark is the soul, and Narayana is the super soul. So, super soul witnesses every activity. It is like two birds sitting on a one branch of a tree. The one bird, that is soul, is continuously, that bird is continuously, you know, enjoying the fruit of the branch. He's not even looking at or turning his head towards the other bird. And other bird is just waiting and witnessing whatever the other bird is doing, that is the soul is doing. And he's waiting that at what time he will turn his head towards Krishna. Paramatma. That is what it is. So knowledge is about, so who is the object of knowledge? Both. Super soul as well as the soul. Both are object of knowledge. Now let us proceed. So 13.13, the verse is Gyayam yattattam Gyayam yattat prabhakshami yadgatva asnute anadimat param brahma na satatan nashat uchyate. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Because material world, everything is cause and effect. In fact, if you look at the Newton law of motion or anything, that it is always the cause and effect. The force If the cause is the force, then it applied on the mass, then the mass, force is equal to mass into acceleration. All that is cause and effect is there. Even if you look at how the velocity comes or how the speed comes, all the laws, all the physical laws are part of cause and effect. But what Krishna is saying, that this one, this knowledge or the knowable, the object of knowledge, that is Krishna himself and Paramatma, that is beyond the cause and effect. He's, of course, he's the Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the cause of all causes. So I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman. So what happens? He's saying what will happen to Arjuna once he knows the knowable. What will happen? These things will happen. That knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of the me. Now he begins to explain the knowable, first the soul and then the super soul. The living entity is eternal. There is no specific date at which the Jiva was born, nor can anyone trace out the history of the Jivatma's manifestation from the Lord. Therefore, it is beginningless. It is very simple. No one can find out a date. There can be two souls, in the same timeline, but we don't know which soul is more older than the other. They may be in the same body of the same age, but one can be a million years older than the other soul. So we don't know what is the beginning. So therefore, it is called beginningless. The Vedic literature confirms this. Now Prabhupada gives the various kind of conclusions, which this is called the, so one is ascending process and other is called a descending process. Ascending process is you start to understand from, you want to understand the structure of the atom, then you start looking at some, trying to look through an atom, which is just not possible. But then, if you, let's say, go to the physics laboratory, or ask the physics professor, even the clerk or the some office boy will also explain you, who has understand physics. He can give you the structure of atom. So this is what, because it is there in their parampara of physics. So they know, they have understood, they have given evidences, everything is there. Similarly, so that is called descending process. So in that descending process, we can now know through the Vedic literature, which is basically coming as a Shruti as well as Smriti. So Shruti is something which is coming through, the auditory reception, and Smriti is through the scriptures or the written format. So what the Vedic literature confirms, Najayate Mriteva Vipaschit, not the other one, not the Bhagavad Gita, Najayate Mriteva Kadachit, not this one. This is from the Katha Upanishad, 1.2.1. The knower of the body is never born and never dies. So it again confirms. So many confirmations Prabhupada will give, in fact. The Supreme Lord as a super soul is the Pradhana Kshetrakya Pratir Ganeshaha, the chief knower of the body and the master of the three modes of the material nature. So this is where this we have already reading in Gita, but Prabhupada is giving the the pramanas. It's called Shastra Pramana, the proofs of the evidences from the Shastra. So Sweta Svetara Upanishad 6.16 also says that he is the Pradhana Kshetragya. Pradhana Kshetragya would mean what? He is the knower of all these. So in the Smriti, now we're talking about Smriti, which are the uh, written form of the Shastras. So, Dasa Bhuta Harir Eva Nanya Saiva Kadachana. The living entities are eternally in the service of Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed by Lord Chaitanya in his teaching. What does he say? He says, Jiver Swarupa Hayat Krishnir Nityadas, means living entities. The constitutional position of the living entities are the permanent servitor of Krishna. This is all being proven and established through various shastras. Lord Chaitanya also tells it in the Parampara. Living entity is called the Vijnana Brahma, and super soul is called Ananda Brahma, the most blissful. So this is how we should understand what is knowable through this diagram. It's beautifully depicted here. Let us just see the diagram here. So soul and super soul are the real objects to be known. So 13.13 is the crux which describes the first object of knowledge, the soul. So that is, so Gayam is what? What are the object of knowledge? One is soul, who is Vijnana Brahma. And the next is or the living entity. And the next is super soul, which who is Ananda Brahma or blissful. So, what are the benefits of knowing the knowable? This is what the benefit is. The benefit of knowing the knowable is one can relish the nectar of life. Otherwise, we are all hankering for something or other. How to relish life? Only when we know that what is knowledge. Anything else is not knowledge. We can do it for some kind of bread and butter and etc. But again, it should center around Krishna, and He is the object of knowledge. This is also a beautiful verse. Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvato shishiro mukham sarvatah smrtimal loke sarvam abritta tishtati. Everywhere are his hands, his legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. It looks, it. You just imagine the Vishwarupa. Similar way, that is just a, he has shown it just for the sake of others, that some bogus god, claiming god will not come, but here the actual description of Paramatma is given. So how we'll understand it? Let us understand through some examples. Like let's say sun and its rays. So like the sun diffusing its unlimited rays, the super soul or supreme personality of Godhead also is all pervading. So we can understand the sun, we can understand the sun ray. Even if sun doesn't come, I mean, sun doesn't travel to earth, sun stays at its position, but the entire sun rays, we feel the sun. So anybody who talks about that, yes, uh, have you gone? Is it a sunny day? Yes, it is a sunny day because the sunlight is there. So sunlight is like a sun. Although when we go to the realization stage, we have Brahman realization, Paramatma realization. That's a different one. But now we're talking about the all-pervading nature of the knowable. So all the individual living entities, beginning from the first great teacher. Who is the first great teacher? Brahma, because he is the secondary creator. First, the primary creator is absolute primary creator is Krishna. In fact, he has created his expansion, uh, Karanadakshaya Vishnu. But we can say that great teacher Brahma down to the small ants exist in him. There are unlimited heads, legs, hands, eyes, unlimited living entities. All are existing in and on the super soul. Just let us understand this. The individual soul does not have his hands, legs, eyes everywhere. The Supreme Lord can extend his hand without limit. And how? We again have another verse. Just let us connect that verse. And what is that verse? The verse is Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam Yame Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktya Uparatam Ashnami Pratatmanaha. If Krishna is saying that if you offer me a leaf of some water, some fruit, then I'll just eat it. How will he eat it if he is in Goloka Vrindavana? How in your place of puja, how will he eat it? Because he has he has his hand, his unlimited hand he has. He has got his unlimited mouth. He can taste it anywhere. This is proven. So this is called the omnipotence of the Lord. Even though he is situated in his own abode, far away, far from earth, like in Goloka Vrindavana, but then he is also everywhere, in everybody's heart. So this again, Prabhupada gives always a beautiful evidence from the most revealing scriptures. We say this revealing scriptures, or revealed scriptures. In the Brahma Samhita 5.37, it is stated, Golaka eva nivasyati akhilatma bhutaha. Although he is always engaged in pastimes in his transcendental planet. So if you go to Golaka Vrindavana, and if we have the opportunity while in this beautiful loving service to Krishna, if we go and have the opportunity to go to Golaka, then what we'll see there? we will be also engaged in the service. So we'll see that all the living entities are in the service of the Krishna. The entire Leela, whatever Leela is like happening in has happened or happening in Brundavana, in Earth planet, that is same thing is happening in Golaka. There are cowhead boys, there are cows, and all these beautiful things are happening there. So he's all pervading. The individual soul cannot claim that he is all pervading. Therefore, this verse, Prabhupada says, is basically a description of the super soul. Okay, so this is the summary of all pervading. So super soul is all pervading. So Prabhupada is saying that text 14 is all about super soul. Now, in the next verse, this is 15. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarva vrachaiva nirguna guna bhaktarcha. Once again, let me read. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhucheva nirgunam guna vaktrucha. The super soul is the original soul, source of all senses. So if you look at various senses, we have five senses. There are also different senses even other species will have. Yet he is without senses. He is unattached. Although he is maintainer of living being, Bhuktaram Sarvabhutanam Sarvaloka Maheswaram. He is a maintainer. Sarvaloka Maheswaram. He is a maintainer of living beings. He transcends the modes of nature. So he is Nirguna. And at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. It is looks like it is little complicated to understand, but this is the description. This is what Krishna is. He is near as well as he is far. He is the maintainer of everything. He is the master of the modes, yet he is not, it transcends the mode. Now, the Supreme Lord, although the source of all senses of the living entity doesn't have material senses like they have, actually, the individual souls have spiritual senses, but in conditioned life, they are covered with the material elements, and therefore the sense activities are exhibited through matter. So this is what is to be understood very clearly. We are not material beings trying to be spiritual. I repeat, we are not material beings trying to be spiritual, but we are spiritual beings somehow entrapped in the material nature. And because we are entrapped in the material nature, identified in the material nature because of our desire. If you go to the chapter 17, and when we say uh, the the perverted, inverted tree, then what it was? It was what was you know differentiating between all the material world and the spiritual world, the desire. That was what the main uh, curtain which is differentiating between the two worlds. The Supreme Lord senses are not so covered. His senses are transcendental and are therefore called nirguna. Guna means the material modes. That means Sattva-guna, Raja-guna, Tama-guna. Guna also means rope. So therefore, the beautiful explanation is given in the purport that any of us who are behaving in whichever way, we are primarily the puppets in the hands of the deity of the gunas. It is like we're like a puppet. Because yeah, if I am in a tamo guna, so therefore the rajo guna and tamo gunas, they will not come to Krishna consciousness because they are like puppets. They will not come. So to be in Krishna consciousness, the minimum requirement is to be in Sattva guna. Suddha Sattva is a quite a higher stage. But normal Sattva guna, which is required for devotional service, so the Raja Gunis and Karmis never come. They say, what you are doing? You are doing all nonsense. You are doing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What you will gain? Nothing. Prabhupada was giving an example. He's saying after having so many instructions, after having so much, someone was saying, Hare Krishna, what the Mahamatra that you were talking is same. The chanting is same as chanting Coca-Cola. Then Prabhupada was saying, you are a fool, you are a moodha, because the chanting Hare Krishna is not material. It is even not uttered in this world. It looks like we're uttering in this world. It is coming straight away from spiritual world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is not material. That is to be understood. And all the devotees have understood this. Fools, mudhas, all they have not understood. His senses are not like ours, they are transcendental, uncontaminated, and various Upanishads have evidences. Like they said, Apani Pado, Jabano Grahita, the Lord with his uncontaminated hands accept all sacrifices offered. So therefore so how he becomes a Bhoktaram Yagatapasam? So there are thousands and billions of, let's say, sacrifices were going. So in this age, our sacrifice is chanting. That is the Yagyanam Japajogasmi. But which was the yuga when this fire sacrifices were going on? Hare Krishna. Fire sacrifice was in which yuga? Hare Krishna. Fire sacrifice was done in which yuga? Satya Yuga, it was meditation. Fire sacrifice in Treta
Tretaya.
Yuga. Treta Yuga. So just imagine in Treta Yuga when it was, 10,000 years was alive. So, and so many millions of sacrifices were happening. But Krishna is saying, so he is the Bhoktaram Yagatapasam. So he is the benefactor of all the sacrifices. How? Because he has got unlimited mouths, unlimited hands. So he has no material eyes, but with his transcendental eyes, he sees everything. In fact, Krishna can, because his transcendental uh, form, he can actually do anything by any sense. Means he can smell through his mouth, he can taste through his nostril. So anything can happen. So he lives within the heart of a living being, Sarvasacha Murti Sannivisto, and he knows what everything, the past, present, future. We have seen that in the Vishwarupa. Like the future was also there. The Kauravas were getting killed. The Supreme Lord, with his spiritual legs, travels throughout the space. So the Lord cannot be impersonal. He has his eyes, legs, hands, and everything else. And because we are part and parcel of Supreme Lord, we also have these things. But his hands, legs, eyes, and senses are not contaminated by material nature. So we have this verse, beautiful verse, Manmana Bhava Mat Bhakto Mat Yaji Mam Namaskuru. So Manmana Bhava Mat Bhakto Mat Yaji. So if he says that, okay, you think about me, then Mat Yaji. So prostrate to me, connect to me, Mam Namaskuru, worship me. How will worship unless there is a form? So it is fully established that he has a beautiful Shyama Sundara form who is revealed to the devotees. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Navaved Graham Indriyehi. So next verse 16. Acharam charam acharam charam evacha shukmat pattad avigyayam durastham cha chantike chatat. The supreme truth exists both internally and externally in the moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. We just discussed about this. He is not moving from Golaka Vrindavana. He is there permanently enjoying it because he is the supreme enjoyer. He is the Purusha. So he is enjoying fully in Golaka Vrindavana, not moving anywhere, but he's still there here in everybody's heart. So it looks like everything is divided, but it is not divided. So Narayan, the supreme person, is resides both outside and inside of every living entity. He is present in both spiritual and material worlds. Although he is far and far away, still he is near to us. Asino duram pratitis, sabanovati sarvataha kathopanishad establishes this. He is always engaged in transcendental bliss, enjoying his full opulences, cannot be seen or understand with these contaminated material senses. On purifying our mind and senses. So all the regulative principles basically is doing what, and the chanting is doing what? It is purifying our heart and our mind and senses through pure devotional service. He can be seen. So, Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Navavet Graham Indriya, Sevan Mukhe Jiva, those Swayam Spurataya. So, starting from the Jiva, that is from the tongue, that is chanting, and slowly to other things, then he reveals. So, Brahma Samhita affirms that the devotee who has developed love for the Supreme God can see him always without cessation. Bhagavad Gita 11.54, we have already studied it. Bhaktya to ananya sakyaha. He can be seen and understood only by devotional service. This is to be clear. So whether it is karma yoga, whether it is bhakti yoga, whether it is jnana yoga that we are now studying, everything finally leading to bhakti. And the understanding is that through all this, we'll ultimately should go to the platform of bhakti. And that is the only way. So abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitam Utpartu cha tadgyeyam grasishnu prabha vishnu cha. Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Because when you see 84 lakhs of species, we can see on the right hand side, the monkey, the cow, lion, the birds, crocodiles, aquatics, so many things. So it's and we can see the spark also everywhere. So he is there and as a Paramatma in all the living entities. So it looks like he's divided. It looks like he's divided, but he's not. He's maintainer of every living entity. Is understood that he devours and develops all, but he is not divided. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasacham Murti Sannivishto, as a super soul, as Paramatma. Does this mean that he has become divided? No, actually not. The example is given of the sun. The sun, the meridian is situated, in the let's say uh, in the sky, and one goes for 5,000 miles in all direction and asks, "Where is the sun? Where is the sun?" Everyone will say that that is shining on his head. So he is situated as if divided. Also, it is said in Vedic literature that one Vishnu is present everywhere. And the Supreme Lord, although the maintainer, Muktaram Dagyotapasam Sarvaloka Maheswara, maintainer of every living entity, reverse everything at the time of annihilation in the form that is Dharan Dakshaya Vishnu again takes back everything. So it goes to the stage of unmanifest. In the form of time, also he divorces all. In the form of time, Kalos me sarvahara, he says, he is the annihilator, the killer of all. Mrityu sarvaharas jasmi. When there is creation, he develops all from their original state. At the time of annihilation, he divorces them. He is the origin and the rest of all living entities. He is the origin. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. And he is also the resting place of all living entities. All these facts are supported by Vedic literature. So 17, Supersoul is undivided, Supersoul is one. Although Supersoul appears divided, but it is situated as one. Although maintainer of all living entities, he devours and develops all. So we can see here all the living entities, but he is in everybody's heart as the Supersoul. And why we are having so many living entities? So why we become, let's say, dog or hog or whatever? That is because of our desire. We're talking in the previous class. Somebody wants to indiscriminately eat, so he becomes a hog. Somebody wants to become just fly and fly, so he becomes a bird. So all that happens because Paramatma is there to sanction. He's just not the witness; he's also sanctioner. So that verse will also come. So ज्योतिषाम् अपि तज्ज्योतिस् तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विस्थितम् हृदि सर्वस्य विस्थितम्. He resides in every entity, living entity's heart. Now, something is, uh, someone asked Prabhupada that uh, there is some earthworm which is cut. Now, both the worms also move in two directions. So if soul is not divided, how the earthworm is going in two directions? In fact, Prabhupada says that no. In fact, that after cutting, in fact, another soul enters. Soul cannot be divided. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledgeable. Sorry, he is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So whenever, whatever we're doing, every action is witnessing. The Supreme Lord is the source of light in all luminous objects like sun, moon, and stars. Wherever we're looking at any light, we can say that it is Supreme Lord. In the spiritual kingdom, there is no need of sun because he's saying no Sashanko ho, no Suryo ho, no Sasi Suryo ho. Nothing is there. It is all self-illuminated. In the material world, that Brahma Jyoti, the Lord's spiritual effulgence, is covered by the Mahatattva, the material elements. Therefore, in this material world, we require the assistance of sun, moon, electricity, etc. Aditya Varnam Tamasaha Parastat. Aditya Varnam Tamasaha Parastat means he just like the sun, eternally luminous, but he is far, far beyond the darkness of this material world. His knowledge is transcendental. To one who is eager to be transferred to that spiritual world, that is Golaka Brindavana, knowledge is given by the Supreme Lord, situated in everyone's heart. This also we have studied. Tesam evanukampartham aham ajnana jamtamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. He gives the necessary intelligence. When So one must surrender unto the Supreme Personal Godhead if he at all wants liberation. Only by knowing him can one surpass the boundary of birth and death. So we talked about birth, death, old age, and disease. This can be surpassed only by knowing him. And by knowing him means basically devotional service to him. So he is a source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. His knowledge is the object of knowledge, and he's a knowledge, he's a jnana, he's object of knowledge, he's a gayam, he's a goal of knowledge, he's situated in everyone's heart. So this is what we understood so far. Supersoul is source of light in all luminous objects. Supersoul is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. Is knowledge, object of knowledge and goal of knowledge, and he is situated in everyone's heart. This is to be now understood by text 18. So let us look at the next, that is 19. इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद् Madhavayopa Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only by devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain my nature. Here we see the two birds that we talked about. We can see Krishna also here. So one bird, the two birds on the same branch. We can see the Krishna in the as as residing in everybody's heart and as a witness, and we see the super soul also as representing by the other bird, and the other bird is engaged in just eating the fruit, which is primarily the sense engagement. uh, Once he is away from the sense engagement and uses his senses for the satisfaction of the master of the senses, he's waiting for that. So this is a summary qualification to understand Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana and Geyam. So this can be fully understood by whom? All this Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana and Geyam by devotee. And this knowledge means understanding oneself in Krishna consciousness and realizing Krishna in everything. Knowledge is nothing but primarily stage of understanding devotional service perfectly. So Vijnana is knower, knowable, and process of knowing is called science of knowledge or Vijnana. So conclusion of 18 is the soul and super soul as the knowable, and super soul is the ultimate object to be known, and it can be known by devotees only. Okay, now we'll move to 20 to 26. Krishna answers now the question 1 and 2. And what was that question? What is Prakriti and what is Purusha and what is their union? And this is most important because in the next chapters we'll talk about the gunas where Prakriti will come first, because the gunas are the integral part of Prakriti. The material nature has, what is the integral part of material nature? It is primarily comprised of the gunas. However, it is not necessary that we necessarily be identified with the gunas. But because of our desires, we get entangled with the desire, with the gunas. This is the various kinds of species that happens because of desire. Lord Krishna explains Prakriti Purusha and their union. So this is very important verse. Prakrutim Purusham Chaiva Vidhi Anati Ubhau Api Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavanam. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So, how many species are there? 84 lakhs. And how many human species? 4 lakhs. That also we discussed. And then 4 lakh species is coming because of various desire, various consciousness levels. So, based on that, and all these species like monkeys, we don't know in the previous life what we are, and in the next life also what we'll become. So desire is the most important, and this because of this desire we get identified with the material nature, and because of identifying of so this is the cause and effect we can say. First, the desire which gets us to the material nature because through material nature will enjoy. So propensity to enjoy gets us towards the material nature. After coming to material nature, we get identified with the gunas, and now we are entangled with the gunas. And based on the gunas, we act, and based on the actions and the karma, we get our bodies. And these bodies are the field of activity. Therefore, this body is called field of activity. So the embodied individual soul, the living entity enjoying the activities are so the embodied individual soul, the living entity enjoying the activities is Purusha. Both the super soul and the individual entity are different manifestation of the Supreme Personal Godhead. The living entity is in the category of his energy, and the super soul is the category of his personal expansions. This is also another very, very important verse. Karya Karana कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति उच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भक्तैव हेतुरुच्यते. So Sukha Dukha is coming from where? It is explained here. Because many times we ask ourselves, why me? Why this is happening to me? Where from it is coming? So nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects. Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects, whereas a living entity, that is our soul, is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments. So we cannot say Krishna is the cause of our misery. Why we have become a pig, let's say, or something. We cannot say Krishna is the cause of this. He may be the cause of all causes, but not this cause. This cause has happened due to our desire. And what he has done primarily, he has sanctioned it. And he has to sanction. It is like let's say we can take an example of a mother and a child. So a child wants certain toys or chocolates or certain lozenges that okay, or see continuously some TV, cereals, etc. And after, so fine, if you want so much, then okay, eat it, eat the chocolate. Then after some times, the karma will come back in terms of the cavities. Then he will understand. Krishna also say, fine, you desire, you will understand after some time. But people still do not understand and do not come to the fold of Krishna consciousness. So that becomes as a because of the kuta, and kuta cannot go without coming to the fold of Krishna consciousness. So according to one's desires and activities, material nature places ones in various residential quarters. Residential quarters are nothing but the different bodies, and once placed and once placed in some uh, and once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the material nature because the body being matter acts according to the laws of the nature. At that time, the living entity has no power to change that law. Once we acquire a body because of our desire, after that we can't do anything. For example, suppose an entity is put into the bodies of a dog As soon as he is put into the body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He has to bark. He cannot act otherwise. As a hog in a hog body, he has to eat the stool. As a demigod in demigod body, according to the law of nature. But in all circumstances, the super soul is with the individual soul. Whether it is the body of the hog or body of the demigod, super soul is always present. That's the message. Purushah prakritasto hi bhungte prakriti भुंक्ते हे प्रकृति जनगुणः कारणं गुणसंगस्यो सद असद्योनि janmasu. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil amongst various species. So, living entity, like we, for some reason, we want to enjoy, let's say, water, or you want to enjoy food, we want to enjoy uh, some TV serial, or whatever we want to enjoy. So that kind of body will be given. So we can see. So why a horse's body? Why let's say bear's body, or some crocodile's body? Because of the specific kind of a desire which has happened. That, and this last six verses are called the Bija Vakyas. Living entity follows the way of life according to the three modes, and based on that desire to enjoy. This sentence is very important. Desire to enjoy. Let us cement this in your minds. Desire to enjoy forges the bond between Purusha and Prakriti. So the question comes always. So what happened that the Purusha gets identified with the Prakriti? What happens? Purusha was there. It was in the unmanifest stage. What happened? Can we mute, please? Can you mute? Can you mute? Hare Krishna. Where is it? Have you muted? Have you muted? I don't know. A lot of sounds were coming. Have you muted? Hare Krishna. Have you muted? Let us mute, please.
Sorry, Prabhuji, she cannot.
Sorry? It's
She
not
cannot.
muted.
Sorry, Prabhuji, Nandita Das cannot mute.
Okay. No, we can mute here. We can mute
If
here.
you can, yes.
I'll try.
Put,
I'll try.
yes. Punyalila Mataji is not there.
Kunal Mata is not there. Okay.
No, 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 she is not there.
Okay. Okay. Now I can mute. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So, uh, yeah.
Yes.
Fine. Thanks. Okay. So let us just another 5 minutes to go so we can complete this. Yeah. So main thing is a desire. Because of the desire, why it is not going now? So this is the most beautiful verse. Upadashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chapyukto Deheshmin Purushah Paraha. So he is on the right hand side in the beautiful four-handed form. We can see Sankha Chakra Gada Padma. In this form, he stays in our heart. As what? As Upadrashta, as a witness to all our activity, as Anumanta, the sanctioner of all our desire, as the Bharta, means he is the master of all the entire universe, and also the Bhokta. He is the benefactor of all the sacrifices. And Paramatma, he is the Paramatma, Dehesmin Purushaha Paraha. Paraha is the eternal. The eternal stays within the heart of the living entity as the three things. One, he is a Upadrashta, that means he is a witness to all activities. Next, he is a Anumanta, he is a sanctioner. Next, he is a Bharta, he is the master and supreme proprietor. And the fourth, he is the Bhokta Maheshwara. He enjoys, he is the only enjoyer. So if you are thinking that we are enjoying, then that's a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. What is in fact the bliss, the eternal bliss is perverted as enjoyment. So individual soul enjoys the activities of a particular field, but the super soul is present as the witness, overseer, permitted as an Anu Atma and supreme enjoyer. He is Paramatma, not Atma. Para means transcendental. The super soul, Paramatma, has legs and hands everywhere, while individual soul doesn't. Right. So all this we have understood. Next, य एवं व्यक्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयो अभिजायते. One who understands this philosophy of concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. So we can see here Sukha Muni, he is, he is telling Bhagavatam to whom? Hare Krishna, to Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj got liberation just by hearing. He got just by hearing. So there are others who got, in fact, while in the womb, like Prahlad Maharaj. He got liberated while in the womb because Narada was explaining. One who understands philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, the interaction of the modes of nature, knowledge of truly understanding the relationship between soul and super soul result liberation and the return to the spiritual world. That is, what is a beautiful verse? Yat gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Yat gatva na nivartante tadhamam paramam mama. What is the purpose of knowledge? To understand how the living entity has fallen into the material world in precarious condition. Because this is our general question. What we have done, if we are in the unmanifest stage, then why suddenly what kind of sin we have done that will come to this material world? So now it is clarified. So this was desire to enjoy separately other than Krishna. Desire to enjoy separately other than Krishna makes us bring to this material world and suffer. How to understand our position? This is how to understand our position. Kechidatmanam atmanam अन्ये संख्येन योगेन कर्म योगेन चा pare. That super soul is perceived by some through meditation, by some through the cultivation of knowledge, and that is the basically the jnana yogis, and by others through working without fruitive desire. That is niskama karma. So these are the very understanding. So one is dhyana. Some perceive the super soul through the meditation. We can see the Ashtanga yogis who do the dhyana, dhya- because dhyana dharana samadhi is there. Then Sankhya yoga through the cultivation of knowledge. Then three through karma yoga, that is through working without fruitive desires, that is niskama karma primarily. Uh, Atheists, agnostics, and skeptics are beyond this and spiritual understanding. They cannot ever understand what Krishna is. Devotees of the Lord are best situated in the spiritual understanding because they know that beyond the material nature are the spiritual world and the supreme personality of Godhead who expands as Paramatma. Only devotee can understand and understand very quickly. So, अन्ये त्वेव जनानन्तः श्रुत्वा अन्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्वेव मृत्युं श्रुति parayanaha. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others because of their tendency to hear from authorities. So here it is clarified. Hear from whom? Hear from the authorities who are in the parampara. They also transcend the path of birth and death. So whatever we're saying here is coming from the parampara. Parampara from Prabhupada. Prabhupada from Siddhanta, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. Then ultimately from Sri Chaitanya. Ultimately from Krishna. So this is the parampara in which we're discussing. And what is this example is where Kapila Munu is actually giving the transcendental knowledge to his mother, Devahuti. So here also by hearing, she's getting liberated. There are many, many examples. And summary of section F, Jnana Chakshusha. So this I think we cannot cover because already we're at 10. So we can do it next time. 27 to 33, only maybe 5 verses are there. This we can cover in the next session. So I stop here. Jnana Chakshusha. And okay, I have to stop sharing as well. Where is the stop button? Was the screen was sharing or it was not sharing?
Yes, it is Prabhuji sharing.
Okay, fine. Uh, okay, that thing is not coming. Stop here. Okay, so it is stopped.